We knew what happened in the script. We knew that something came out of John Hurt's chest because his line was, "Oh my goo-ah."
Hollywood refused to believe a woman could lead an action film. The studio wanted Meryl Streep, but executives insisted no one would watch a female hero fight monsters. Then Sigourney Weaver walked in and changed everything. Now, at 75, she's revealing the disturbing truth. The failed clones, the FBI threats, and the dark secret that made her reject millions to return. Born Susan Alexandra Weaver on October 8, 1949, Sigourney came from a famous family. Her father, Pat Weaver, created The Today Show and The Tonight Show. Her mother, Elizabeth Inglis, was an actress who left Hollywood to raise a family. Despite her connections, Sigourney always felt like an outsider. She towered over her classmates, reaching 5 feet 11 inches by 6th grade, and was teased for her height. At 14, she changed her name after finding Sigourney in The Great Gatsby, a choice that made her feel stronger. Instead of chasing fame, she studied literature at Stanford, living in a treehouse with her boyfriend and dressing as an elf for fun. Acting wasn't a priority, but after a trip to Israel, she realized she missed storytelling. She enrolled at Yale School of Drama, where her classmate Meryl Streep got all the best roles, and professors told Sigourney she had no talent. Determined to prove them wrong, she found an ally in playwright Christopher Durang. They created bizarre theater productions like Das Lusitania Songspiel, where she smashed champagne bottles while singing about money. Critics hated it, but it caught the attention of Hollywood. Her first film role, 6-second, silent appearance in Annie Hall, 1977. It paid $50, just enough for a sandwich. But casting director Juliet Taylor remembered her and later recommended her for Alien. Alien was never meant to have a female lead. The original script assumed Ripley was a man, but director Ridley Scott and Fox president Alan Ladd Jr. took a risk, casting 29-year-old Weaver, a complete unknown. Hollywood doubted her. She was paid just $35,000, while co-star John Hurt made $250,000. Even Fox didn't believe a female action hero could sell. Scott had to fight for her, making her train with ex-Marines to look tough and capable. The gamble paid off. Weaver's Ripley became a sci-fi icon, shattering expectations. The industry underestimated her, but she rewrote the rules of Hollywood, and this was just the beginning. Audiences were stunned when Alien killed off its male lead first, leaving Ripley as the last one standing. Sigourney Weaver's Oscar nomination for Aliens, 1987, was even more shocking. Hollywood didn't take sci-fi seriously. Awards were for dramas, not action films with explosions and monsters. But Weaver's Ripley was too powerful to ignore. She wasn't just strong. She was smart, fearless, and emotional, protecting a child while leading soldiers into battle. Yet, she lost to Marlee Matlin, Children of a Lesser God, as many believed the Academy still dismissed sci-fi. Years later, when Sandra Bullock won for Gravity, people saw it as proof that Weaver had opened the door for women in action films. In 1989, Weaver made history, winning 2 Golden Globes in one night for Gorillas in the Mist and Working Girl. No actor had ever done it before, and no one has since. She fully transformed into real-life conservationist Deanne Fossey, even living among gorillas and falling ill during filming. In Working Girl, she played a ruthless executive, so convincing that people joked she was channeling Hollywood's worst bosses. Despite her success, Weaver refused to be typecast. She turned down Total Recall and The Silence of the Lambs, choosing complex roles instead. She played a quiet housewife in The Ice Storm, an emotionally shattered woman in Death and the Maiden, and even voiced the AI in WALL-E. Sci-fi kept calling her back, but Alien 3 was a nightmare. The original script featured a wooden monastery planet, eerie religious imagery, and monks who saw Ripley as a divine test. But just weeks before filming, Fox panicked. They scrapped the script, burned millions on half-built sets, and rewrote everything into a prison planet story. A 28-year-old David Fincher was hired to direct. The studio controlled everything. Earlier drafts, one about Cold War bioweapons, another horror-focused, were discarded. Fincher fought daily battles with executives who even mocked him, saying Alien 3 would make $30 million no matter what. Frustrated, he left Hollywood for years, later returning on his own terms to make Seven. Weaver had her own struggles. Ripley was completely transformed, shaved head, prison uniform, sick from radiation. The glue used on her scalp caused allergic reactions, delaying filming. Fox even wanted her to wear a wig, fearing audiences wouldn't find her attractive. Weaver refused, saying Ripley wasn't there to be desirable. Despite all the chaos, Sigourney Weaver's impact was undeniable. She changed sci-fi forever, on her terms. Ripley wasn't there to be desirable. She was there to survive. But Fox didn't like that. They removed Weaver's co-producer credit from Alien 3 trailers and used the tagline, "The bitch is back." She was furious, calling it insulting. She had fought hard for creative control, even demanding Ripley's death if Newt and Hicks were killed off. But constant rewrites drained her, making her question Hollywood's treatment of women. Executives called her hysterical for having input, and crew members resented taking orders from a woman. She even considered quitting acting. Weaver still defended David Fincher, believing his vision was buried under studio interference. Fincher himself disowned the movie, refusing to be involved in the 2003 extended cut. He hated Fox's last-minute change to Ripley's death, having a xenomorph burst from her chest as she fell, calling it pointless. Despite the chaos, Alien 3 gained a cult following, praised for its themes of corporate greed and bodily autonomy. Weaver returned in Alien Resurrection, 1997, but Ripley was different. As a clone mixed with xenomorph DNA, she was stronger, faster, and almost alien herself. She stalked, crouched, and even growled, "I'm the monster's mother." One of the film's most haunting moments was Ripley discovering a lab of deformed clone experiments, proof she wasn't just a copy, but something entirely new. The movie was weird, and critics didn't like it. But one moment became legendary. Weaver's over-the-shoulder basketball shot. The director wanted to fake it with CGI, but she trained with an NBA coach for weeks. On the first take, she actually made the shot. Co-star Ron Perlman broke character, shouting, "Holy shit!" The scene had to be cut quickly because his reaction wasn't scripted. Weaver refused to do Alien vs. Predator 2004, calling it ridiculous. It's like making Jaws fight Godzilla. She had asked for Ripley's death in Alien 3 to prevent mindless sequels, and she believed AVP ruined Ridley Scott's plans for a real Alien sequel. Instead, she brought Ripley back in Alien Isolation 2014, a survival horror game about Ripley's daughter. Unlike the later movies, this game focused on fear, not action. Weaver loved it, calling it the sequel Alien 3 should have been. At 61, Weaver shocked audiences by playing Kiri, a 14-year-old Na'vi girl in Avatar: The Way of Water. No AI, no tricks, just acting. James Cameron wanted her to move like a real teenager, so she ran, climbed, and even read her old teenage diaries to recapture that energy. For 13 years, fans speculated about Kiri's mysterious father, human, Na'vi, or even Pandora's goddess, Awa. Weaver added depth by shaping Kiri's spiritual connection to nature, improvising scenes that Cameron loved. Initially, people laughed at the idea of her playing a teen, but once again, she proved them wrong. Sigourney Weaver didn't just break the mold, she shattered it, fighting for bold stories, complex characters, and a legacy that goes beyond Hollywood's limits. In The Defenders, Weaver played Alexandra Reed, a villain unlike any other. She wasn't after power, just survival. She had lived 500 years by stealing organs. Weaver wanted Alexandra to be smart, not magical. Her most chilling moment? Poisoning someone's tea like a scene from Shakespeare. Marvel didn't want her to die so soon, but Weaver insisted. Later, leaked emails showed Kevin Feige wished he had cast her in Eternals. In 2013, Weaver returned to Broadway in Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike, where she tripped and broke David Hyde Pierce's rib and performed while sick with COVID-19. In Galaxy Quest, she mocked sci-fi tropes, improvised a line that almost got an R rating, and ripped her costume sleeves on purpose, her Ghostbusters. Afterlife cameo hinted Dana funded the Ghostbusters' return, and she refused to fight Zool, saying Dana should stay calm. Weaver and Jim Simpson have been married for 40 years, with their daughter, Char, a non-binary professor at Columbia University. Weaver prefers a quiet life in New York, hiking and avoiding drama. She's fought for heart disease awareness, abortion rights, and gorilla conservation. She has led the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund for over 30 years and supported climate activism, even protesting the Keystone XL pipeline. Weaver helped pave the way for women in action films and supports LGBTQ+ stories. As a UN Goodwill Ambassador, she fights climate change, deforestation, and addiction stigma. For Weaver, activism is who she is.